Right in, I can tell you how to do it. I grew up in San Diego, surfing, skating, was part of a punk rock band, didn't like high school, didn't do what you guys are doing, dropped out of college to go do construction out here, finished college finally, started 3 companies in college doing website stuff, did a whole lot of programming, a lot of gaming, that was in the 90s. Graduated college at San Diego State University in 2000 and joined the Marine Corps after 9/11. I worked a little bit on the outside, joined the Marine Corps, did 2 tours in Iraq, got out, started another company in Idaho, got called back to active duty when running for Congress in 2007, went over to Afghanistan, came back over here, won my election, once more with no previous political experience whatsoever, and here I am. I'm the only congressman right now who's served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that's where my focus lies. Is on the military. I think that there's a few things that the federal government's good for, and that's one of them. One of the 2 or 3 things that it's really good for. Things like mail system and roads and infrastructure, things that the Constitution actually says we're supposed to do. The way that I do stuff, I'll tell you the way that I kind of roll is I just talk to people and I talk bluntly. I don't have speeches, I don't have any speech writers, I don't write speeches usually, I just talk to them. And people seem to love it. And I have my dad was in Congress for about 30 years. He was chairman of the Armed Services Committee when I was in Iraq. His name's Duncan too. He ran for president in 08. He was I'd call him a 4th-tier candidate. He did a few debates on a few televised debates. But so I've had a lot of political experience, enough to know that I promised my wife I would never get into politics. I would never do it. My dad missed my high school graduation. He was never here on the weekends. I have 3 kids, 8, 10, and 4. I've been gone for about 3 weeks out here. We're not going home now until we're done with this debt deal. We're not going to leave. We're going to stay here. So whatever happens on this weekend, if my son was doing something and getting some award, I would miss it. I don't like this job too much. I can't stand DC. I can't stand the weather, the traffic, the people, the drivers. This is not San Diego. There's no beach here, and if there is, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and the waves are smaller. But here we are, and the reason that I'm here, one of the main reasons that I'm here is because I don't think anybody can do the same job that I can do. Nobody has the experiences that I have, like each of you have. Each person has his or her own experience, and you have your own way of looking at things. And that's the prism that you see life through, and that people find valuable enough to vote for you, like you were asking earlier. They have to find your prism worth voting for, the way that you see things. And my dad told me, don't make enemies on the way up. So Aaron took a different route. Aaron went from school board to assembly in his state house, right? And then he ran for Congress. I didn't have any political experience at all, like I said, and I ran against people that thought that they had the right to this job. Didn't make them happy. They had more money, they had more age, they had more experience, but if you get people on your side, that's all that matters. That's what this is all about. So with that, instead of me talking more about things you don't care about, I'll take questions, if you have any.
Actually eligible to be collecting welfare, and 23% of people surveyed weren't actually eligible. And I just want to know, is there anything maybe going to be put forth to help, reform that system? We were talking about the national debt, and I think
I know of no welfare reform that's being talked about right now here on the Hill. It could be a state issue. There's a very small portion in this country, less than 1%, that go and serve overseas to fight for us, so we can sit here and we can be free and we can be happy and not have to worry about anything. And that is the greatest generation, the greatest sacrifice, and the greatest service are the men and women who go serve overseas. Period. And there's no better feeling than killing somebody that needs to be killed. Truly. Yeah.
My name is Sean from Massachusetts. I was wondering, what if there were, your dad was your father was in Congress. I was wondering, what would you say are the differences between you two as being in Congress, and also your father was also running for president. What do you think of the presidential field so far? I don't know if you paid attention to
that. Yeah. First question is, what are the differences in my father and I? He's old. I mean, he's totally different generation. It's like us. I mean, he doesn't want to. He just got his first email address like a year ago. I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, my 10-year-old has an email address that I log into, but it's still his email. He plays World of Warcraft. I mean, this my 8-year-old is better on, in fact, my 4-year-old is actually better on the iPad than my dad is in general. My dad still has an old flip phone. I mean, so it's hard for him. I think the biggest difference is that even with people here, it's hard for them to grasp what technology can do for us and how quickly it's changing and how it's going to change our lives forever, probably for the better, we all hope, right? And your second question was presidential field. I'm for the guy that can win, or the girl that can win, period. When my dad ran for that big seat, I was very strict and adhered to a very firm philosophy, and I said nobody fell in line with exactly what he believed and what, because he and I hold the exact same principles for the most part.